What God's people say.
I want to say this morning we have Bob Lewis, accompanied by his son Andrew, to offer the offertory this morning. God bless you, Bob and Andrew.
Good enough, decades ago, I was going through a troubled time in my own life, and because I'm a poetry fanatic and I always memorize a lot of poems, I stumbled across this poem that really ministered to me and encouraged me, challenged me to make sure I kept my focus on God. I discovered that the author of the poem was a native of New Jersey, had been born in Lyman, and 3 years after her birth, her little sister was born, and her mother died in childbirth. So the dad had these two kids on his hands, and was able to persuade a widow woman who lived next door to take the kids. So she took the kids, had kids of her own, and was having a difficult time with these two Johnson girls. And so, in the good providence of God, a couple doors down from where they lived was another family, the Flint family, and they had a school teacher boarding with them. And this school teacher took a liking to these two little girls and persuaded the Flint family to adopt the girls. And the Johnson dad, who was at this point dying, probably he died just a few short weeks after the adoption, he agreed that with the stipulation was that the family that was going to adopt the girls had to be a good Baptist family. Turned out that the Flints were Baptists and they adopted the two girls. The woman who wrote the poem, her name was Annie Johnson Flint, with her adopted name, and she had this unbelievable gift with poetry. And so through high school, she was always writing, and the poems were ministering to the people, the friends she shared them with, relatives and things like that. She grew up, finished high school, moved to Camden, New Jersey, ended up going to what was normal school then, I guess probably junior college, whatever, became a school teacher. And while she was teaching school, discovered that she had arthritis, and it just got progressively worse, to the point that it eventually ended up crippling her. She couldn't use her hands to write. She had to get someone to write down her poems for her. At the same time, she ends up contracting cancer and just a host of all these other diseases. And in the midst of all of these struggles in life, she was communicating the goodness of God and the strength and the grace of God in her poetry. People began to be impressed with it, and some folk then decided to start publishing her poems, and so you'll probably stumble across them. There's one in our hymnal, that's the one I want to share with you this morning. Giveth more grace when the burdens grow greater. He lendeth more strength when the labors increase. To add affliction, he added his mercy. To multiply trials, his multiplied peace. For his love has no limit, his grace has no measure, his power no boundary known unto men. For out of his infinite riches in Jesus, he giveth and giveth and giveth again. When we have exhausted our stored up resources, when our strength is gone and the day is half done, when we reach the end of our hoarded resources, our Father's forgiving is only begun. Shall exceed his provision. Our God ever yearns his resources to share. Lean hard on the arm everlasting of hailing the Father both giveth again. He giveth and giveth and giveth again.